who we got, and then who should that team pick since they are outside what I consider the Garden of Eden for this draft class?
I'll start with this. I think this next tier here gets a lot of hate, but there's a guy at the top of this tier who I think maybe belongs in the conversation with the other dudes. And for me, that's Moses Moody. I think that dude has top flight defensive upside that where he can slide his feet with guards, and he's got the size to defend bigs on perimeter players. Obviously, exclusively bigger guys might push him around a bit, but besides that, he's pretty much got all you want. And well, I'm not sure on his creation upside offensively. He can get to the rim and stuff like that for sure, but he can't really create for others. The shooting is top flight. The whole 3-and-D thing, like, this is the perfect 3-and-D prospect every team should be looking for.
I like Moses Moody. Moody's good, but I just don't. I think there's a guy that just has a little more upside based off what he did in the combine, and with that, I like Keon Johnson just a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
This is gonna be spicy. Give me your Keon Johnson.
I like him more just because he's more athletic. He's just more athletic when it comes to his game. I like him a lot more. I know he's not the 3-and-D guy right now, but I think he's going to bring the defensive side as soon as he steps in.
Okay, so what have we said all playoffs? If you are a really good defensive player and you are in front of a all-world offensive player, you're not going to stop them. You're not going to stop them. You're going to make them less efficient, but you're not going to stop them. Are we putting too much emphasis on defense? And I'm a defensive guy. I don't like just sieves on defense. That's not my thing. If you're an Olay guy, that's not my guy. But are we overvaluing what a defensive player brings to the table when it comes to the number 6 overall pick in the NBA draft?
I understand that feeling, and I personally have always been someone who doesn't believe that we can project defense very well for a college player. So I understand that side of it. Also, offense is definitely more important at this point. In my grading that comes out on the website that you guys will all see, that you'll see that offense constitutes for me for 50% of the grade, and defense only 30% of the grade. So I think there that shows the difference. But why I think Moody is a little different in this way is that his offensive game is so complementary. He's portable in almost any situation. And his defensive game is what kind of the most important thing you want right now. I know a big is the most valuable defensive position, but you can't find a wing defender like Moses Moody almost anywhere. And he's a guy who I think is going to step into the league ready to play at that kind of level.
All right, so here's what I had somebody tell me last night. Moses Moody has excellent mid-range. Excellent. Pro level right now. He does have enough in his bag to get to that spot as well. I'm not saying that he is a Kyrie Irving or someone like a James Bouknight who has a pretty decent little handle. Or Sharif Cooper, right? Sharif Cooper would be like one of the best ball handling guards coming out, correct, as far as handle?
Yeah, I give him the handle.
All right. So Moody also is literally dead ass precision when it comes to pick and roll, and he's a ball handler. Okay? He didn't have a big sample size of it. And here's the thing. The reason why he didn't have a big sample size of it is they didn't run a lot of pick and roll. So he's very adept at it. His evaluation in private workouts is that he is legit right now a expert ball handling pick and roll guy.
Yeah, if that's true, then he's absolutely in that tier with those top guys. And like, if I would have seen more of that on tape, there's 100% chance I'd have him over a guy like Scotty Barnes. There's even a chance I'd have him over a guy like Jalen Suggs. Like, that's a super valuable player in my mind. I think Moses Moody is a guy who could step in and have a major impact. He's also so young and has a frame that looks like it could add some size as well. Maybe not even with him like working out a bunch, but just with him aging naturally, he's gonna fill out more. So I think I think that guy could be special.
How tall do you think Moses Moody is?
Off the top of my head, 6'6".
Try 6'4".
6'4". Okay, yeah, but his wingspan is crazy.
Yes, his wingspan is 7.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Do you want to?
That's like him playing the 2 is what I think is ideal, and being able to guard 1s and 3s as well. Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. This is why he's never going ahead of my guy Suggs. I had a scout tell me yesterday that they wish that he had a little more Colin Sexton, Reggie Jackson in him.
Yeah,
because
fair.
Yeah, he's very selective with his shot.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say it that way. Not unconfident in his shot. But uber selective, like to a point where it's to his detriment.
Yeah, I think, well, part of the reason for that is he doesn't really show like the ability to get to his spots when he has the ball as much as you'd like. And that's kind of why I thought his upside was limited to more of a, not necessarily a role player, but more of a complementary offensive player. But if you're saying like he's got this pick and roll ball handling upside and stuff as well, that's a way for him to get to his shots far more often. And him being selective is like, if he's doing that, he's going to just find himself in a situation to take those good, efficient looks like 10, 15 times a game.
Okay, Kendall, sell me on Keon Johnson. And why should we picking this dude?
Well, I'm picking this guy not just based off the top, but just based off who's going to be picking at this spot. Okay, he might not be the most talented guy on the board at this point, but a guy that athletic, I feel like that athletic at 6'5" is what so many teams just want so much. They want it so much because you give me a 6'5" guy that's athletic with a decent wingspan, I can teach him, okay, this is how you play defense. I can teach him a jumper, especially if he knows at least the basics of the game, which I feel Keon Johnson knows the basics of the game. So it's not, they don't have to teach him as much as some other athletic guys in this draft that we will talk about later.
So I will say one word to you. Hold on, Nico. I will say one word to you. Actually, not one word. Lou Dort. Number 6 is OKC.
Yeah, I know.
Where does Lou Dort fit into that?
I mean, does anything OKC pick fit? They're just drafted. They don't care about it. They're just drafted.
Where you're telling me that Keon, his value where his value is on the defensive side of the ball. I'm gonna the pushback if I'm the GM. Like if you're the scout right now and I'm the GM and you say, I just saw this guy, he's incredible. He's gonna translate to the NBA. He has his defensive principles are locked in and all of that. I'm gonna tell you, we got Lou Dort. Did you go find me somebody who can get me a bucket? Not a steal.
I don't think there's no one here that I think really can get a bucket at this point in this draft. I don't think there is that guy right now, and if there is, he's too far of a reach to get.
You might be right. There's not really a straight bucket getter, but I kind of think Keon Johnson is a reach at this point, personally. I don't really get the defensive upside. Like, watching his defensive film, a lot of the stuff you criticize Jalen Green about, I see like in spades with Keon Johnson, like trying to jump passing lanes using his athleticism, not really being able to like fully engage with the ball handler when he's playing in on-ball situations. Like I see that all over when I'm watching his film. Personally, like I think he's more of an end of the lottery, maybe even falling further into the late teens, personally.
He is still high. I mean, I do see him in mocks like that. I'm just looking at fit for OKC.
I just don't. When it comes to OKC, I don't think they even look at fit. I don't think. And OKC, they don't have a position listed for any of their guys on the team.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I see what you were saying with Lou Dort being that kind of player, but Lou Dort, kind of part of what makes him so good is you can kind of put him on the floor at any position. All he's going to do on offense is just go stand in a spot, essentially. Defensively is where he brings you that immense value. So I think Lou Dort, like, you could play SGA, Keon Johnson, and Lou Dort all together pretty easily. So that I don't have as big of a problem with. I don't know what Keon Johnson does well enough to be considered over some of the other guys who I think have immense upside at this point.
Well, I'll tell you what one scout told me about Keon Johnson is this. He said that if Keon Johnson matures, all the physical gifts stay, he matures, he works on his shot. They feel that he's going to be like Jalen Green elite.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I think for me to be that high on Keon Johnson, I'd need to see him do at least one of those skills right now at a similar level to Jalen Green. And I'm not sure what he does other than, like, you could argue finish at the rim, but I don't even think that's true because Jalen Green has so much more power. Sure, Keon Johnson can like match his aerial acrobatics, but I don't think he's going to go through bigs the same way that Jalen Green can. So it's just so much projection. And for me at this point in the draft, like this high in the middle of the like 6, 7, 8, that kind of stuff, I just don't know. Also, the vertical kind of has some question marks about it. Like if you go look into it, his standing reach was measured a lot lower than would make sense for his arm length plus height. So they could have mismeasured him and then put his vertical higher than it actually was. It was for sure like crazy jump. It maybe he even set the record. I just don't think the guy got 48 inches off the floor.
I'll say this last thing, and then I'm done. He is, on my player comp, from me looking, is Latrell Sprewell. That's what he's going to be.
Do you think he has that kind of handle?
I think so.
Yeah, see, that's a projection for me too. Maybe I have to go back and watch the film closer because I feel like I watched a different prospect.
And Nico, what would you take a guess as Moses Moody's comp? You don't have to be
Oh,
too crazy with it. Just you can give me like a range. You can say he's he's Mitch Richmond to I don't know who's a
uh,
6'5" guard now that does almost nothing.
I'm trying to think.
There's a lot of
He's
Landry Shamet.
nah, he's okay. Defensively, I kind of see him as like this is obviously the higher end outcome, but defensively he reminds me a little bit of Klay Thompson. Offensively, like what he's shown at Arkansas is a little reminiscent of a guy like maybe JJ Redick or someone like that, just someone who's moved around to get their shots. He does more at the rim than your typical 3-point spacer, though. I don't really have a great comp off the top of my head. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
All right, we're gonna move on to the Bay Area. Shout out to our boy Keyshawn holding it down in the Bay. Golden State is going to be on the clock. We hope that Klay is really healthy and that we get to see Klay and Steph and the Splash Brothers reunited, and it feels so good. So if that's going to happen, who we got, and then who should that team pick since they are outside what I consider the Garden of Eden for this draft class?
I'll start with this. I think this next tier here gets a lot of hate, but there's a guy at the top of this tier who I